In this presentation, I'll be discussing my ethical data visualization project. For this assignment, it consists of two parts. The first, I analyzed two existing visualizations, one that demonstrates ethical data presentation and one that contains misleading design choices. After that, I created my own visualization using a Davidson County dataset while intentionally following ethical principles such as transparency, fairness, and honesty. Throughout this project, I focused on how visualization design can influence the way people interpret information and make business decisions and policy decisions based on the visuals. Moving on to part one. So for the first part of the assignment, I compared two COVID-19 visualizations that represent very different approaches to data communication. Figure 1 is the Georgia Department of Public Health COVID-19 chart, which actually became widely criticized during the pandemic. Although the underlying data was legitimate, the presentation made it difficult to accurately interpret these trends. The dates along the x-axis were displayed out of chronological order, and counties were reordered each day based on case counts, which is why you see the different colors and different orders depending on the day. Those choices made the graph appear to show a steady decline in cases, even though viewers couldn't reliably compare the COVID case data over time. This chart would demonstrate how visualization design can unintentionally or intentionally mislead an audience without um, changing the actual numbers. Moving on to figure 2. This comes from a source it's called Our World and Data and shows daily COVID-19 vaccine doses, which were administered per million people here on this chart. I selected this visualization because it follows accepted principles of ethical visualization. The timeline is in chronological order. The axes are clearly labeled, and the chart explains that it uses a 7-day rolling average. It also identifies the data source, which allows users to verify the information independently if they wish to. I also, another positive of this chart, it presents the full timeline rather than highlighting only specific dates. Instead of directing viewers toward one interpretation, it allows them to explore the data themselves, and they can draw their own informed conclusions based on exploring the chart. So after comparing those two examples, the second part of the assignment challenged me to create my own visualization while intentionally applying those same ethical principles. So moving on, I actually used a data set from a previous assignment in this class, the community resources in Davidson County, Tennessee, where I live here in Nashville. This data set combines publicly available information from OpenStreetMap and U.S. Census geographic data. I chose a simple bar chart because it is one of the clearest ways to compare categories without introducing unnecessary complexity. Rather than using dramatic colors or three-dimensional effects, I kept the design straightforward. It has descriptive titles, labeled axes, zero-base scale, and all of this so viewers can clearly understand the data and where it came from. As I built this visualization, I focused on some ethical principles, honesty, fairness, and transparency. Honesty meant accurately representing the data without exaggerating differences between the 5 categories. Transparency meant clearly identifying my data sources and providing enough context so viewers understand what they're actually viewing. And then lastly, fairness, just presenting the complete data set instead of selecting only a few categories that supported a specific narrative or a bias. From a Christian perspective, I also consider the principles of integrity and stewardship. I believe that data should be managed responsibly because people often rely on visualizations when making important decisions. And presenting this type of information truthfully reflects integrity, um, while responsibly communicating data demonstrates good stewardship of information. So, a challenge with this building this visualization was balancing the technical accuracy with simplicity. Um, Sometimes it could be tempting to include more information or more advanced effects. However, those types of additions can make the visualization harder to interpret and draw conclusions. Um, I always think that keeping the design clean and focused actually improves the communication within the data. Um, Wrapping up this project um, just reinforces the point that ethical visualization is about much more than creating attractive, eye catching charts. Design choices directly influence how people understand the information, and even small things like access scales or labeling or ordering, it could significantly affect interpretation. Um, as someone who hopes to pursue a career in data analytics, this assignment emphasizes the importance of presenting the data honestly and transparently. Thank you for watching my presentation.